Oh, Director Skywalker. What can you tell us about Project Caterpillar?
What can I tell you? You know, I'll be able to tell you more in about a week when I get a script. I can tell you that it's clear that it's Secret Warriors, and the thing that's always true of our show is covert ops.
Not so covert. This is where the secret.
That was very sneaky.
This is why they're actors and not real agents.
I'm familiar with Secret Warriors in the comics, but as iterated on our show and in the TV and cinematic world, it's a different thing. It's slightly new. It involves some of the people that we have. We're doing the version of it on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that means that we're going to try to gather people like Skye on a very, very top secret team. So I have a feeling once again Coulson will be wrangling some very special people, and that can really go wrong, and sometimes it can go really right.
You talked before about the father-daughter dynamic between the two characters. How do you feel that the events going?
I think they go out. They date this year. That's not. It was just a joke. You don't have to do the gaggy face.
I'm still like reacting to seeing you and Ming pretend to make out in the elevator in the bloopers clip.
That bothered you?
It was just like,
we're not your actual parents.
I know, but that was weird.
That's all right. So I feel when I see you make out with Ward.
I feel that way too.
He's a bad boy. Don't bring him home.
How do you feel the events at the end of season 2 will affect that dynamic moving into season 3?
I mean, there was a hell of a lot of challenges to that relationship last year, and there was ways that Coulson, I don't think, took care of her as well as he could have, and feels responsible for her being turned into an Inhuman. And yet they came out of it, I think, closer than ever. It was my read on it. So, I think she's kind of his right hand, so to speak. He doesn't have a left one.
You guys got to tackle Inhumans on the show years before the movies are going to finally get to it.
We did.
How did you react when you found that out, and what kind of pressure do you feel knowing that's eventually going to be a big movie property too?
Do you feel pressure?
I don't really feel pressure. I mean, I think we're in really good hands because it literally has nothing to do with. I mean, it's all the genius behind the show is Marissa, Jed, and Jeff, and I trust them, and I think it's in really good hands. And I think Marvel's obviously very involved as well. So I'm just excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I was excited. There was an announcement today that Lash, who's a very cool character from the Inhumans, will show up in Secret Warriors. I was excited because, and I've said this before, the Inhumans are cool because they're people who evolve differently. And suddenly there's a new version of us in a different form with different powers. And some people think that a new version of us or some way of evolving differently is something that needs to be exterminated. And other people think that's an exciting new direction in who we are.
That
feels
sounds
very
like
topical.
A civil war.
It does sound like a civil war. It sounds like the headlines, really.
Last question. Are you looking forward to playing like a more seasoned version of her with the powers and being a little bit more capable and adept?
Absolutely. I was thinking about that in the car ride, and I'm thinking about the growth that Skye has, how far she's come since the first episode. I feel like Chloe's still at the first episode, but Skye has evolved so much. So I'm actually a little nervous to play someone who's so confident in her abilities in that sense. So it's going to be a challenge, but I'm excited.
Is she becoming a leader as well? I mean, is it safe to say that she's...
We would be lying if we said we knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly she is in the comics. At some point later down the road, Skye becomes the leader of the Secret Warriors. I don't know if that's where we're going. As we said, it's different. So I would happily turn it over if it was really Anna.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.